Welcome, everybody, to the Heartful of Hallmark podcast. I'm Noah Kaser. I'm sorry my co-host can't be here, but we got a little bit of a surprise. This was an impromptu talk. I watched the film, and I had to get Tara on because she's just phenomenal. But we're here to talk about Unwrapping Christmas, Mia's Prince.
Yay!
So, who is your character, and what can you tell us about her?
Okay, I am Mia's sister, and I'm a bit of a hot mess right now in this because I don't have a job. The pipe bursts at my apartment, so it's probably not that great of an apartment. And so I have nowhere to live. I'm homeless, and I'm divorced. So there I am in a nutshell.
And this woman here, we've seen the film now. It has been out, and in most films, it's mostly all the leads save the day. Well, this one right here saves the day in this film with a little bit of her cooking skills.
Yes.
So, what can you say about this film, and what was your favorite scene that you got to shoot?
Well, this film is so wholesome and so lovely, and I think just so beautiful as part of the anthology. I love the sister development of where they start to where they end. It's so beautiful, really, and just all of the cast of characters. I think it's so interesting. Like, it was so fun to watch it, and I guess I help at the big gala, so yeah.
And speaking of the gala, that's where we see all the dresses.
Yes.
But what's more important is the women in the dresses. What can you say about each lead girl? I've had 2 of them on, and I've spoken to 3.
Yeah.
But let's start off with your sister. What can you tell us about Catherine?
Well, Catherine was my sister in the movie, so I'm going to be a little biased here and say that I loved her dress the most because, have to say that, but also all 4 were stunning. I mean, I was just saying earlier, the colorways that they used for the pictures for each movie. Wow. It's definitely like you see it a mile away and it's attention grabbing. Mia's, of course, is this lovely figure hugging green that just... she wore that. The dress didn't wear her. She wore that, and it was just a stunner. Like, it was breathtaking, really. And I love Tina's dress, the burgundy red, burgundy is like the color of the season right now. So it was just beautiful. I love the little sleeves. The blue, of course, is very Cinderella, which the ice blue on Ashley. So that was stunning. And then the yellow, but then she's wearing a red dress, I think. I think Cindy's wearing a actual red dress, which of course is Christmas and stunning, and with her hair, because she had red in her hair, it's just perfectly like it. The wardrobe, I would say, I was blown away by the wardrobe because I did watch Tina's Miracle. I want to see all the movies. So I did watch Tina's Miracle, and then I watched ours, and the wardrobe in both were just chef's kiss. Really, they did a phenomenal job on the boys, the women, the mom, wow, like our mom that we worked with, Lynette. Yep. She was, wow, so chic, so fat, like, hello, like you don't want to mess with her kind of vibe. But yeah, really loved it.
And what about the women themselves as just beings? We've met Kat before. Okay, Kat is she's her. I mean, what can you say? We talked for about an hour before we even did our interview.
Yeah.
And Catherine is just the sweetest, and then we went on for an hour and a half. So what can I say here? Okay. What is your favorite thing about Catherine?
Well, I will say that out of all the people I've ever worked with, she was really the most giving. I was coming on a set that she knew mostly everybody on the set, and I know she had worked with Amy Force a few times before this one. And so it was a well-oiled machine, and I will say that she was so helpful, so giving, so open. I would ask her to like run lines, and she would be okay with that. And like, because I was just a little nervous. I wanted to make sure that I did everything they wanted me to. And like I said, I was green coming to that set, not knowing anyone. And so she was so welcoming, and it was, her personality is just something else, and she's just a riot to be around too. So yeah, very, very grateful to have her as my sister in this.
Did you get to meet her dogs, or did she not bring her dogs to set this
I
time?
actually got to meet her mom. So that was cool. And her mom was like, oh my gosh, the casting was like, wow, she could be your sister. Like her mom said that. So I was like, okay, they nailed it. We're gonna get this. It's gonna, the chemistry is gonna be like there, and like, yeah, so that was really lovely. Yeah, her mom was so lovely. I heard about her pop-ups, but I never got to meet them.
Yeah, we're hoping so. She's shooting something now, and they're there now.
Oh, good. That's
So
so
when I talk to her again, I'm gonna be like, "Why didn't you take them to me as Prince?" Because I
Aw.
mean, everybody would. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But with this film, we also have a male lead in it. What
Yes.
is Nathan like, and who is he as
So,
in this film and as a man?
well, Nathan has integrity and is very dapper right off the hop. And I got to meet Nathan the same day that Catherine did when he came to set. So we both got to know him really, like we all had lunch together. So we all kind of like were riffing off things, and like Nathan is very smart, Catherine's very smart, and it was just an easy conversation, and we all just like had a lot of fun. And the two of them, the chemistry was like sparks were flying. So it was amazing to see that. But yeah, really, really well spoken. Um, you know, good looking, both of them. So can't go wrong.
So with the type of film that this is,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a kiss.
Yes.
What was it like on set for their kiss? Because each kiss I've heard is very different,
Yeah.
and from what I've heard from the Cindy kiss is a lot more spicy,
Okay.
and Natalie and Alex is a bit more subdued. So what was it like on set versus watching the film?
Yes. So the kiss, I saw obviously I saw the kiss live when it was happening, and it was very romantic and like very much, in that prince princess vibe. Like definitely like it was a perfect kiss. So they nailed it. I love Tina and her number two. That was a great kiss for that vibe. Like
Yep.
it worked perfectly, like outside with the snow, and oh, it was lovely. I loved that. And so yeah, theirs was very beautiful. Like it was like a perfect kiss. So
And Lily's, were you there for hers, or does it not take place at the gala?
I can't remember. No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I think I saw Cindy's uh but it's been a bit of a blur, but I remember my sisters obviously, and yeah, so I can't remember, but I think Cindy's is also there, but
Okay.
I don't think Lily, no. But I
Well,
did
with
meet,
yep,
sorry,
yes.
I
You're
did meet everybody, all the cast, which was really cool because we were all in the crossover. So I got to meet all the number twos, all the girls, like, so it was really cool. And then all the like characters that went with all of their stories, everyone was there, like Tina's guy, and then the daughter, that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, I was able to see everybody, which was so cool. Loved it.
and with these films, there's two directors, where in most films there's only one. So Max took two films and Amy took the other two.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Did you meet both people? And were you in scenes for both of them?
Again, it was like, wow, I can't remember everything because it was a whirlwind. But I did shake hands with Max McGuire. I said hello. I remember that. And of course, Amy. So yeah, and having a woman director was really cool. She was my first woman director. And I absolutely loved it. And she was a G, like so good. I
She
loved working with her.
she is a powerhouse. I mean, she makes these films, and it's a machine. They run smoothly,
Yes.
and she loves to work with the same people, which is the best thing, because then
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not the awkward just hi, it's nice
Yeah.
to meet you, see what goes on here. But with her and Kat, they've
Yeah.
made 3 or 4 films together.
Oh, that which
So,
also was a little bit, I felt like nervous, very nerve wracking because I'm like, okay, it's a well oiled machine. I'm coming in as the new girl. I'm like, oh gosh, I hope I'm okay because they're used to like a certain way. So I felt very grateful that I was given that chance to be in there. So yeah, I felt there was a lot of times when I was like tearing up, just like being like, oh, this is so great. Like everyone is just so wonderful. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better set, truly.
now, are you a fan of these films
Oh,
before shooting?
absolutely. Again, like I love this just there's so much bad things in the world and just this wholesome Christmas. I love Christmas. And I'm actually my friends are just like you are elf because if I see Santa, I'm like Santa! Like I'll literally do that and like run like I don't have any problem doing that. So I love me a Christmas movie. And I watch Hallmark. Like I actually watched the Lacey Chabert, The Hot Frosty.
Oh,
I watched
yeah.
that like last week. So good, so cute. I mean, obviously a take on Frosty the Snowman, but the characters in there, like I was like, oh my god, the guy from The Office. Like there were some cool, like really neat, like people in that movie. Lauren Holly,
Yep.
remember from Dumb and Dumber?
Hmm.
Like, oh, like she was hilarious. Like I loved it. I love that movie was so sweet and funny and kind of on the like little edgier side. Actually, there was some. Did you watch that?
Oh, he was ripped. That dude is ripped, and I'm like, I want to be like that. Come on now, dude.
I
What,
know. I was
what's your
like,
workout
oh,
routine, man?
oh, it was so funny. And then Lauren Holly being like, "You can come over and whatever, work on some stuff," or I don't know. She was saucy. It was very, very cute.
Oh,
I really loved it.
Dumb and Dumber. She is one of the
Yeah.
best parts in it,
Yeah, she
and
really
oh,
is.
she's great.
Yes.
So when you have a leading role in one of these films,
Oh,
who could you pick? Who would you want to be your male co-star?
I don't know. I mean, I hope crossing my fingers one day I get to be the lead, but I mean, if I'm a supporting lead forever more, I'm also happy. So I don't know. It's you know, a dog could be my like, hey, let's be best friends. It doesn't matter. As long as I
I
get to like work on another, movie with these fine people, wouldn't matter.
I've got a couple ideas
Oh
that
yeah.
I think you would have great chemistry with.
Oh, well, do say.
And one is the man, Mr. Tyler Hines.
Okay. I don't know who's Tyler Hines.
He is they call him the sexiest man on the channel.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Okay. So I don't know why I don't know. I just, yeah.
or maybe we could see you with like a Alec Santos, maybe.
Aw.
That'd be
Wait,
great.
he was like, because I got to meet everybody and he was the nicest. Like we all were sharing stories and stuff. And he had some hilarious stories from when he was in, I think, university or Brazil or something. I don't know, but he was cracking us up. He was just so lovely. Very lovely.
And then the other one that I think you'd make a good pairing with is Mr. Chad Michael Murray.
Oh, okay. Yep. I've seen him in what's the one where it's like a barn or something where he had and it's his like friend, it was his high school romance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know which one.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was so good.
And he has a new film out just today where it's not a Hallmark friendly film.
Oh.
But
okay.
it's a rom-com Hallmark story.
Oh, all right.
And it's called The Merry Gentleman on Netflix.
Okay, I will check it out. I'm going to write that down.
He's very non-Hallmarky in that. Let's just say maybe we'll get to that point where there's a scene like that. I mean, for a long time it's just been the clean stories, but now we have all the fighting and the mysteries in these films.
Yes, I watched a mystery one because I don't think we can get it in Canada. But when I'm in Miami, they have the Hallmark channel at the hotel I stay at. So it's literally I watch Hallmark, and then I watch the Golden Girls at night because the Golden Girls is also on the Hallmark channel at like 10 or 10:30. Sorry. I am such a geek. I love the Golden Girls.
Well, I mean, when they are saucy, and for being what on the show in their 60s 70s, I mean, they got a lot more more than I've got going on in my life. I mean,
the dates they go on, I'm like, okay, all right, you go.
Man, like a pier over here and a coffee date and a movie. You go to a club. I'm like, where's that in my town?
Right? And then they all like when they come back from their dates or whatever, then they all sit around and have cheesecake. Yeah. And it sounds pretty amazing to me. I will take it.
Well, speaking of cake, let's move to the catering. What was the catering like on set?
They were catering angels. They were amazing. Yeah, that team is there's something else. Like they just knew when you were hungry, and they would just like things would go around and come. And then also too, if people have allergies or gluten sensitivities, they were on it. I think the AD a production manager, I think she would sometimes she would put together my lunch in case like I wanted to stay and just like run my lines and like get ready for the next scene. Cause I'm very like intense and focused. Cause like, I just want everything to go well. So yeah. she would bring stuff and like knew my, like what I liked by the end of it. And everyone was top notch, really. I'm still so overwhelmed just thinking of all of them together, and they're just the sweetest.
So not only are you an actress, but you're also a model.
I am.
What is the easier job? Is it acting or being a model? What's the easier job, and what's your favorite part of each job?
Ooh, these are great questions. Okay. Whew. All right. Well, they each have their own thing. So I do think modeling is easier than acting for sure, because you have to emote in a way that is there's technical issues. There's like lighting. There's like, things that you have to make your mark. You have to get that. Then they might change the lines where they just might like something better. So then you have to like, remember that, but then the new stuff. So I would say acting is definitely harder. But acting, it's good to be an actor, because then when you're modeling, you get into character of whatever they're putting together. Because like it might not be a beautiful shoot. Like it might be very edgy or whatever. So you have to be like, find that confidence and just be like, okay, I can slay this camera kind of vibe, so that, you sell the product. So in that way, acting helps modeling. And then same thing. So like if you're coming from modeling to acting, you had to put on that character of whatever that was. So it's kind of like, okay, now there's just more involved. So, but yeah, I would say acting's harder than modeling.
Do you have a favorite shoot that you've ever done?
I like so many. There's so many shoots that I love. I loved working for Sparkle Hair Extensions. I love doing a shoot there because they just like, they give you all that extra hair, like hair abundance. And then you just look so cute. And that was really fun. Shout out to them. Go-go sweaters. That's fun. I'm wearing one right now. And I wear one in the movie. My friend that's her brand. And so shooting with her, oh my gosh, I love shooting with her. That was just fun and amazing. And yeah, I don't know, just it's all I get excited anytime I'm on set. I feel I'm in my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it always makes me feel amazing, and I want to hear feedback from my clients and just to make sure that they really like what I'm doing. And so yeah, it's like working with people. I really love that. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw that you did a bridal shoot.
I did. Yes.
What was that like?
I've done a bunch of bridal shoots over the years. I've also done South Asian bridal shoots because I am half Indian and I'm half Portuguese. So I did that for like some magazines and stuff as well, and fashion shows and stuff. And so doing bridal, I mean, you're a princess. You get to like be a princess. I mean, you can't go wrong. Please. And like beautiful makeup, and you feel amazing, and you can't not. I mean, and that's the thing. Anybody that tries at a wedding to overdo the bride, good luck, because it never happen. And poo on you for even trying, because that's her day.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So let's move on to the fun questions.
Okay, I love it.
What are your favorite movies? Some of your favorite films?
Okay, well, I did my research and I watched some previous podcasts that you did with my other co-stars. And so I knew that you were going to ask me about Christmas movies and movies. So I definitely was like, ooh, because I am a film geek, being an actor. I know I'm very much love movies like Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, all the way into now. Like I am well versed. Because I think as an actor, I think it's important to know black and white films and 60s and Paul Newman and like, and there's a part where they say Paul Newman in Tina's Miracle. And that was hilarious because my friend in Chicago, she was watching it and she's like, Tara, she's like, they said your man, because one of my favorite actors ever that I know he's dead, so it's fine. But Paul Newman, I love him. He's like literally like my favorite. So, but anyway, so it was cool that they mentioned him, and I was like, oh, but yeah. So favorite movies. Okay, so I will say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is top 5 of my whole life.
Yep.
Steve Martin, John Candy. I can't say enough about this movie being funny and poignant. Like every time I watch this, and I've watched this a million times, I cry every time, and that to me is excellent expert acting. And I don't know why. I guess, okay, that I understand maybe that they didn't get any awards, but John Candy, the scene when Steve Martin like finally realizes that he's possibly homeless. Mm-hmm. And then when he goes back and he finds him in the subway and he's still there.
And when he finds out that his wife is actually gone.
Mm-hmm. Steve Martin feels so bad, and that's his character arc, where you see him transform because of John Candy, and John Candy's performance in that. I feel like he should have won an award for that, because I'm still getting I get choked up right now. And John Hughes, the director, writer, I mean, I can't. It's ridiculous. His all the movies that he did that are still so of the now, even if they're from the 80s or the 90s, like Uncle Buck. Like,
come on.
Like
the drill.
Yeah, just everything in that. Like that movie also is another one of my very favorites. And again, there's so many things going on in it, and it's a beautifully well-made movie. So, and then I like stuff like black and whites. Like I obviously love like Paul Newman movies, and I like Cary Grant. His Girl Friday is one of my very favorites because of the script and the fast talking back and forth. Because it's His Girl Friday is a movie from the 30s or I think it was in 1940, but it was that newspapers, what it was like to work at a newspaper. And so Rosalind Russell, Cary Grant, like that was just like, that's the epitome of like proper like acting and like back and forth to the nines. Oh gosh, I like action stuff. Like, I don't know. You could just ask me and I'd be like, oh, I love that, or I don't like it. I like Quentin Tarantino. I like What's the Time in Hollywood. Like most of his films, I didn't like Hateful Eight, but most of his movies I absolutely like. Kill Bill. I mean, stunning, and especially
Django.
now.
Yeah.
And then also what I like about that movie, I feel like it's a perfect movie in terms of you could watch volume 2 and then volume 1, or volume 1 and then volume 2. Like it's one of those movies that are back to front, front to back, which I think is like that's like super hard to even pull off. And then of course, kudos to Uma Thurman, but like when she's buried alive, like all of that, like that's so epic. And then and Daryl Hannah out of nowhere, she's a villain, and then you don't know if she's still alive or not. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, you don't.
Like, right? It's left kind of like open. You know,
and there's talks of a third one. There's talks he might write a third one, but I mean, we know what he said. 10 films and he's done, but
or whatever. I mean, again, people can say whatever, and then they might just, you know, it's of that time and moment. Like he might change his mind, but I did like Django Unchained. I like a lot of his stuff, and I like the dialogue. It's like meaty dialogue. Like I love that stuff. Yeah. What about you? What are your favorites?
I've got a lot. So I'm a musical guy.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I like musicals too.
My favorite's probably La La Land.
Oh, yes. You know what? Yes. The only thing is it's kind of sad at the end, and I'm like, I like a Hallmark ending. I can plug our movie. Like I like that. Sometimes it's a little too sad, and sometimes I'm just like, why can't they just get together? Like why does it have to be the other way?
Well, I mean, that movie, they build it so well, and my only issue is that ending, because you build that up and all of a sudden they're just not together, but you can still see there's something there.
Oh, so
there might be a chance, and I'm like,
it's heartbreaking, but that's, you know, I know directors like that, or writers like that, where it's like not like this like tied up in a bow type of ending, but sometimes the viewers need that. Okay, like I mean, come on, Emma Stone.
Well, I mean, she is one of the greatest.
Yeah,
she just won for a daring performance in Poor Things, which was amazing movie. Love that movie to death.
Yeah, it was amazing. I saw it. Yeah, it was great. The costuming, the color that they used, like, because they did some sort of treatment to the film, I think, because it was very vibrant colors.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when she did, what was the Easy A? Remember that?
I got in so much trouble for that.
Oh, what do you mean?
I was supposed to go on a double date for that movie.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't go. So my friend and I said, well, these are just new dates, so we'll just move that. Well, they got rid of it at our theater a week later when we were supposed to go.
Oh no.
So then I go over.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have like a double date over at his place when we're like 12. So I mean, we don't know what that movie is. We literally don't know.
Yeah.
And then his dad walks in.
Oh.
And we're like, well, we didn't really know what the movie was, and he goes, it's okay. Oh. It's okay. All of a sudden, his mom walks in, and we're like, just this pure like, oh crap look.
Yeah.
And then the scene happens. And she goes, turn that off right now.
No. Oh.
And our dates are like, yeah, you might want to turn that off because she's scary.
Oh no. Oh.
But then I bring it home to watch the rest of it, and I got grounded because of that scene.
That's hilarious. Oh no. And it's not even really that salacious.
Well, I got in trouble for the weirdest film, and it was The King's Speech.
Oh, what? That is
The-
weird. That's King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
yeah, see,
Yeah, I know that.
but there's one scene where he says 17 f-bombs in it.
Oh, right, because he did actually have this thing where he would just trip out, and so the Queen Mother would be like calm him down and stuff. But
Mhm.
that's hilarious.
I
Oh,
got in so much trouble because he swore, and I'm like, but it's a historical epic.
yeah, it's historical. He's
What
the
am I getting
king,
in trouble
Mom.
for?
Yeah.
And well, then she kind of spun out a little bit.
Hmm.
She wanted me to watch one of her favorite films, Titanic.
Aw.
She
Classic.
forgot about the drawing scene.
Oh heck yeah. Oh, and then there's
So
the
the
handprint on
hand
the
going
yeah, that's
down.
more salacious than him having a temper tantrum.
Well, she goes, "We're gonna shut this off." I'm like, "You made me turn off
Right?
this movie about a guy with a stutter trying to get rid of it so he can have a
Yeah.
speech, but
Yeah.
you're showing me this even though you've seen this 25 times and you want to shut this off now." And she goes, "Well, I guess so." So we watched it,
Nice.
and she goes, "Well, I guess I showed you your first scene." And and I'm like, "Well, it's your fault, Mom, isn't it?"
Yeah, touche. That is your yes, exactly. You had her. She couldn't say anything.
Karma.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But
But a couple of my other favorite films, obviously The Breakfast Club. It's
yes.
one of the
Did you
best.
ever did you ever see 16 Candles? Because that's
Yep.
in okay. Okay. 16 Candles, that's I mean, who wouldn't want a Jake, right?
Hmm.
Like that is crazy. And but the Breakfast Club I found very poignant too, where there were moments in there where you're just it was dark.
Hmm.
It was very dark. And I thought that was really cool though. I really appreciated it. And I think John Hughes, there was a scene when they're in the library and there was a little bit where they could just kind of riff. And I
Yep.
think I can't remember exactly but there were some things that they were saying that wasn't scripted, and he let them kind of go. And I love that. I love that that he did that.
One of them was the I think it was the lunch scene.
Yeah.
They were having lunch, and I
Yeah.
think it was Ali Sheedy. Her
Yeah.
her lunch was just like, oh, she made.
Oh no, we're hello. No, oh no. Hmm. Frozen. Frozen. You are frozen. Oh, oh no. Ah! I'm sorry. Okay. Hmm. Oh, there you are.
My power flickered. I'm like, oh.
No, your power flickered again. No.
Oh.
Oh, there you are. Okay. No, you literally were like, and I was like, oh, not again. This is fun. There's a lot of electricity happening.
Oh yeah, a lot of chemistry, just like your movie.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
But well, we're just gonna keep going, and I'll just cut this out.
Yeah. You can edit it after.
Yeah.
I think you can. I don't know.
I can find a way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what? Ask a friend. That's what I do. I'm always like, if I don't know something, I just ask.
Yeah.
The power of asking.
That's right.
Yeah.
But back to the fun interview.
Yes. Yeah. So you were
saying the Breakfast Club with Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
Her sandwich.
Yeah.
She asked John, "Can I do this? Because I grew up eating this as a 6-year-old."
Ah,
so she went, I'm gonna have to. I mean, that's what this character would do, because that was basically her character as a little kid and everything. Yeah. But it was great. But one of my new favorite films is Wonka.
Wonka. Wait. Oh. So great. Which one? The one with
Timothy.
Timothy. Okay, I never saw that one.
It's very sweet. It's charming. It's a prequel to the Wilder version, which is great.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
It's when it's basically he has these chocolates and he's trying to start a small business, and then all of a sudden he owes this person a lot of money. So she holds him in because he owes her like $10,000 or pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to work for her until he pays it off.
Oh,
but he and the team sneak out so he can sell chocolate to try and pay all their debts off.
Oh, wait, do we get to see the initial meet of the Oompa Loompas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Sort of. We see Hugh Grant as the first Oompa Loompa.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's right.
And why he's there, which it's cute. It's very cute, but oh my lord, it's just so charming. It's only an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just what you want from a charming comfort film.
I love that. That's interesting because it was a different take then, different spin on the regular story. So the one with Gene
Wilder, yeah.
That is obviously the classic. And then you have the Johnny Depp, which is a little bit weirder. But
a little bit. I
mean, but also kind of interesting too. So, but this is neat that it's a different take of it and that you don't see the same story happening again. So
we see him have the idea to build that factory, and they're doing a sequel to it. So I'm looking forward.
Oh, neat. Okay, so then it will start to go into that, but they wanted to do. That's neat. I like that because it was based on a Roald Dahl book.
Yep.
That I read, or my mom read to me. And then there's Charlie in the Glass Elevator.
Yep. Which I hope we get that.
Yeah, me too. Books were always. I mean, Roald Dahl is like. I mean, the best children's book author, in my opinion, like Matilda and James and the Giant Peach.
Yep.
And I think the Twits or something. There's like lesser known ones.
It was weird.
I think I got all of them, so I know like all the lesser known ones, but they're all so interesting and so creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite show as a kid? What did you grow up loving?
Like TV show or
your favorite just show, film, what have it?
Ooh, I don't know because my parents, like my mom and my grandma, my first scary movie that I ever watched was Rear Window by Hitchcock. So I was a different level. Like I'm a kid that is like non-normal kid. Like another movie that I loved growing up that I would watch all the time, The Shining, Kubrick.
Well, I mean,
Obsessed with it. First, I think I was obsessed with it around December, January, February because I felt the isolation in it, and I felt like you just want, I don't know, you want a havoc to happen. I don't know, but all I know is that I was just a different kid.
my
So
that's my favorite horror film of all time is
me
The Shining.
too.
It is amazing. I was in a acting class,
Okay.
and they said, here's your script and here's what you have to do, and it was literally the stair scene,
Whoa,
and
that's
I had to be Jack, and I
oh,
went, I don't need this.
yeah. You're like, I know this by heart, so follow me.
And Miss Marilyn went, are you sure? I'm like, honey, darling, light of my life.
Well,
And she
you're being
goes,
Jack Nicholson there, honey, darling.
here.
Says that.
And she goes, okay, but this is going to a studio. I'm like, here, take it.
I love that. Yeah.
And right after she hit the record button to turn it off, she went, that was a good take. We need the next person now.
She was like scared, basically.
I was terrified.
Um,
We our area was so just awkward because we had no real rooms. We had a Paris room with just the Eiffel Tower there.
Okay.
We had the makeup room, and then we had the runway room.
Oh, okay.
So we did it in the runway room, which was amazing. Beautiful, long runway. And I had to walk up and down that area doing the scene in motion. And every time he took a step, I had to take a step.
Yeah.
And
cool.
knowing that film by heart, I mean, you have to. It's The Shining.
Yeah, that is so funny because I literally would fall asleep to it and watch it every night. I was obsessed with it. It was just comforting. It was total comforting to me, and I loved. First off, I love Kubrick. I love him as a director. He's one of my very top, and just that scene where when they're going to the lookout.
Beautiful aerial.
And then the soundtrack.
Oh,
soundtrack. Just you really feel it, and then you do feel like when everybody empties out of the hotel, it's eerie, and you feel that it's almost like it's fun to have things to yourself, but that one, I don't know. It had some sort of ooh.
Have you ever gone to that place?
I want to. I've never, but apparently they shot the facade is a different thing, and then the inside of the hotel. I think they shot at the hotel for a hot second, but then everything was in England on set, on the soundstage. But there you can go to that actual place because it does exist. Yeah, so I knew that. I don't know.
I don't think I would.
The moment when the what was the guy that remember he comes to save? Well, he doesn't. He tries to. He's like, oh, something's wrong. The cook.
Oh yeah.
I forget his name, but you know what I mean. The cook that he's a famous singer too, I think, or something. He's not. He's actually some star. But anyway, when he gets out of nowhere, and then the music goes you're like ah.
Oh, it's creepy, but I love it.
It's the best. And then the blood coming that's an iconic shot. And then just this idea where you don't know if he's actually talking to himself or if he's talking to a ghost. They don't actually define whether that is a ghost 100% or it was in his head. So that also plays in, I think. And then of course running amok and just the poor woman, that poor wife. Oh my Lord.
Well, I mean that kid, that was one of his first performances. I mean, Jake Lloyd. He's one of the best kid actors I've ever seen because if Jack was chasing me, I'm sorry. No. you need to give me a pay raise because Jack is coming at me with an axe.
Yes.
An igloo in a snowy maze. Oh, I love it.
Thank God. And he was so smart though. What a smart kid to go back into the footsteps. What a smart kid. That's what saved his life.
Have you read the book of
The
Shining?
No, I haven't. Is it different than the movie?
It's very different.
Oh.
It's so King hates the film. He hates that film.
I did hear that. I did hear that, but because it's so well made, I kind of just glaze over that. Sorry.
Well, he wrote a mini series of it with like walking trees and stuff like that from the actual book. I saw some of that, and I went, "You think this version's better?"
Yeah, because I think so. You read the book, right?
I've read some of it.
Okay, and so what is so different about the book to that? Just walking trees, like what is that? Like that's
his kid is there, and he's outside, and his dad is like doing something with the yard, and all of a sudden these trees, well, these bushes grow legs and start walking towards him.
Okay.
And then he turns around and they're back to normal.
Okay.
And his friend who's in his finger in that film is an actual ghost that you see, and he speaks to him, not through his finger, but actually like looks at him and helps him through that area.
Interesting. Huh.
It's very creepy. It's very different, but loving that movie. I'm not going to be able to read that book now because all I can think now is that.
No, for sure. I think it would be, again, it's like he did give him license to make the movie, right? Like Stephen King okayed it. So no, he didn't.
Nope. He sold the rights to it.
Okay, well, if you sell the rights to anything, then you kind of screw yourself a little bit.
Yeah. And King is one of the greatest authors ever. But I mean, sorry. He made a better story than what you did, which is saying something. But it's Stanley Kubrick. I mean, Eyes Wide Shut, anybody?
Yeah, and it's interesting because Eyes Wide Shut was pretty much panned, and then he sadly died just before it premiered. It's weird, but now looking back on it, it's now iconic. Like I always thought it was amazing, but it took a minute for everybody to kind of get their heads around what he was showing. I think
he was very different, which is great. We don't have anybody like that now. Sadly, we have some. Well, Christopher Nolan, in a way, is sort of that way, but even then, he's not on that level.
Yeah, there was something about all of his films. I mean, The Odyssey, obviously, 2001, was groundbreaking. A little lesser known, Barry Lyndon, in the 70s. The light, he did win an award for the lighting in that because it was so amazing, but that didn't do well. Like, I don't think I watched it and I was like, I didn't love it that much, but it looked epic. Like it was so well done. Like really.
My biggest issue is that with almost being 3 hours, you could have easily cut out about a half hour of that easily, maybe more.
You get into that realm of you got to stop. You can't make everything so precious, and you have to. And I know, like, because they're thinking of different things, but you always have to think 360. It's like, okay, 3 hours. Do we need that? You need to like just cut it, edit it, and make it more digestible for people like us watching it. So yeah.
But for the final couple questions.
Yes.
What are your favorite shows now? Do you have one show that you just binge watch constantly besides the Golden Girls?
Oh boy. I wanted you to ask about Christmas movies.
Well, okay. What are some of your favorite Christmas movies?
I can answer whatever, but I was all excited. I was like, ask, and I've got a good one. I have a really good
let's go.
Okay. Okay, Just Friends.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, Anna Faris. That is an epic Christmas movie if there was one. It is it's one of my like top 3, really. Or top 5, actually. Isn't that the coolest? Like this whole idea that Ryan Reynolds is like this geek or this like, not popular person. And then you see that at the beginning. And then his rendition of what's the song? I Swear.
Oh.
Like, oh my God. I was crying laughing. And like Anna Faris is a standout. Like
She's
she
amazing.
kills it. Like her, you know, like rocks, like pop star behavior,
Yep.
and her just being like, no, blah blah blah. Like it was over the top genius. Like I loved it. And remember the scene where like she ruins the whole house or something? And, oh, it was a calamity on a calamity. Oh, poor Ryan Reynolds. But then his character arc is incredible because he starts to be like this, like, oh, I think I'm so whatever because I had a glow up and you know
Yep.
whatever. And then he gets brought down to be like, no, I have to act normal. And like Amy Smart, she's just like, who are you? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I love that how he was like, oh wait, you know. And so I don't know. I thought it was such an endearing Christmas movie.
What's funny now with him is he would not do that character now because Ryan Reynolds is literally one of the biggest stars in the world.
Well, I would hope that he still would. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd hope he'd just be like, you know, because that's, you know, him being Canadian and everything, like
Yep.
just, you know, like a John Candy kind of vibe, like just doing it. Because I feel like John Candy, no matter who, like if you hear anything about him, he is always getting like the best praise. Like on set, he was the nicest. My mom knew someone that went to school with him and he was the class clown. Like everyone just always loved him. So I hope that Ryan Reynolds wouldn't have too big of a head and that he'd want to do a movie like that again.
I'd love to see him do a film with his wife because Blake Lively.
Yeah, that would be good to see like a funny like that type of movie and then make them fall in love. But like
buddy cop film or something. I mean, come on.
Just something funny where they like, yeah, they hate each other and then they like something like that. It would be great because they're both. I really enjoy both of their performances when they're in movies. So like for the most part, yeah.
What's another one of your favorites in Christmas?
Okay. Well, I obviously wrote a list, and so White Christmas, a musical, obviously. And on my IG, I have Darren Baker. He came up with this idea, but on set, he was like, or like behind the scenes, he was like, you should do the sisters thing because you're, you know, whatever. And that movie, I always have to watch that at Christmas. So
yes.
Bing Crosby and, you know, sisters, like just the sweet, like you kind of like want to dance with them. And it's just, everything is just so catchy and it's hilarious. And, you know, it's a 50s, very 50s. Yeah. Let's just say that. So I like that. What's another one? Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. Obviously. But that's kind of on the sad side, but that's okay because I think it's. Oh, you know what I really liked about It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah.
The first part where they're in high school and then the pool and then just the scene where, because he doesn't see her grow up, and then when he sees her, that like that expression that they both give is like, oh, tearing, like you just tear up. You're like. Oh, like they're just because they're both like, whoa, who is that? And it's like you can feel it, like you get chills, like, you know, the chemistry.
Yeah.
In the pool, when that guy gets angry because he like takes her and dances, and then he's like, all right, he's like, I didn't see that, but that's the button for the pool, but I don't know, it's there. And then the guy like presses it, then everyone's like, and then when he's walking her home, and then she gets like, she's naked and she has to go behind the bush.
That's my favorite scene, just because for that time, that was edgier than all heck.
Super edgy, but but worked. It was kind of funny. And then the whole moon scene where, you know, he's like, I'll lasso the moon for you. Like, that's really sweet. And then later on, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's just like, that's all she can remember. And then she's like, look, I have the song that's playing. And he's like, what? Huh? And he doesn't realize. So typical. Whereas girls like romanticize that, like maybe, you know, you've been on the best date and you just remember, and then when you see the person, they don't remember that, you know. Mm-hmm. So I love it.
It's always little things, and I'm like, when did I say that?
Yeah, and
we do that
as girls. We think we remember that stuff, and so it was really cute when she's trying to like set up the scene again, and he's just like oblivious.
Yeah. He's trying to put on that charm and see where it goes is what he's trying to do.
Yeah. And luckily there was an adversary there, because you know how like it just made him want her more, even though he did want her, of course, but you know, gave him a little more push.
Exactly.
You know, with the dude that was wealthy, you know. But yeah, so that portion really brings you in, and it really, you get to really love the character. So when he does go through those things and then he isn't that nice to his family and stuff, you're like, no, you're just going through something, and you know, you can't, you know, that she's wonderful, and your family, like you have the sweetest children, and you're lucky you had kids, because some people can't. So it's like, yeah, so he comes to that realization, and it is beautiful. So that's why I like that. What about you?
For me, some of my favorite Christmas films, Four Christmases.
Oh, nice. I do love
Vince
that
Vaughn.
one too. Yes.
Oh.
Vince Vaughn, and I know, like, I love how he riffs. He will go on a tangent, and I am here for it. I absolutely love it. And the two of them together are hilarious. And you're right. Like, I love how, like, at first they're both like, yeah, we want to go on vacation, all this stuff. And then slowly she's like, I don't know, I kind of want a baby. I kind of want this. And he's like, no, you know?
Yep. Oh, and the very, very end. Well, I love the Christmas season, well, because of the reason of the season. But you know, that church scene is the greatest. I don't know if that was in the script or not.
Mm-hmm.
He has the beard on. He lifts the baby up. I'm like, dude.
That, I know, that is like, you just scream, laugh so hard. I know he took that and ran with it, and he like, oh, yeah.
And who wouldn't want to go on a date with Reese? I mean, Reese Witherspoon.
Right? Give me a break. Who wouldn't? Exactly.
I mean, come on. And that fight at his dad's house with his brothers, they're just beating the crap out of the dude. Now, I feel so bad, but you're just laughing at the same time, because we've all seen that at some point in time.
Well, that's it. And I think like, just getting back to our thing about the sisters, is that we get into like, you know, I bulldoze over her feelings. I'm just like not listening. And I think the fight that you have, it's like very normal to have a sibling fight and to be fine after, you know, and to like, and it all sort of works out. And so when you see these scenes where they're fighting or the cable, they're trying to figure out the cable, and everyone's stressing, that actually happens. Like, that is so real, and it's just, you can relate to it, you know. And I think those type of movies are just, you cherish those.
One that nobody ever says is A Bad Mom's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Bad Mom's Christmas.
I never watched it.
It's a bit filthier.
Okay.
But Catherine Hahn in it is the best. There's a waxing scene in it where like, she's waxing a guy, and her words, her dialogue in that scene is just the stupidest thing, but it's exactly what she would say.
Yeah.
And Mila Kunis, I mean, she's probably one of my first ever celebrity crushes, I think.
Oh, I love that.
When I was 8, my mom was watching something, and then That 70s Show was on, and I'm like,
who's that?
Jackie Burkhart.
Yeah.
Jackie Burkhart.
That was a great TV show. Oh, I love that. What about Elf, obviously. Elf is like, and it is a modern classic, agreed. Yeah. But I heard a funny story about that. I heard that James Caan hated Elf. Like, he was just like, what are you doing? Like, he did not like it or something. And so all the scenes where you're like, where you see he's being grumpy and stuff is like actually like, yeah, but it worked. And then when you see the movie in total, like, he actually, I think he was like, no, that was great. Like, you did a great job after the fact. But yeah, James Caan was like, what are you doing? You're a grown man. Like,
yeah.
Well, Home Alone.
Home Alone. My co-host, she was so upset. So that kid is going on tour now.
What kid?
Macaulay
Culkin?
Yeah, he's going on a tour in the States. Yeah. And watching the film with a crowd, and then meeting people. And all of a sudden he was going to be in her area,
Oh.
and I'm not in her area, or
Oh.
else we would be going. We'd be going. I would have bought the tickets, but the people she wanted to go with said no, and she doesn't want to go by herself.
Oh yeah.
And Home Alone is literally her favorite Christmas film of all time. I mean, what it's an instant classic.
It's the best. I actually got an opportunity to see the house.
You did?
Yeah, so
Oh.
my friends live in Chicago, and so the house is actually just outside of Chicago, the city center, and we went to see it, and it looks exactly the same. Like I screamed in the car. I was like, ah! Everyone's like, okay, calm down. So yes, it and so during Christmas season, there's lots of people taking pictures of the house. Where I heard that it goes through, so people buy it and people like live in it, like, and then they sell it because it's just there's so much. It's like the house is a celebrity, so they can't. It's just too much to, like, I guess, for them to deal with all the time. So it's like moved into different people's hands every so often. But I will tell you, oh my gosh, it was like, it looks like identical to the movie still. Like they haven't changed a bit of it.
And I bet as soon as you drove by, da 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 da, that music just instantly went on in your head. It would have been for me, but
we went at nighttime after dinner, and so you get that, because you see it at nighttime a lot in the film.
Yep.
Looks identical, and there was snow on the ground because I went in December to see them, and it was crazy perfect. That's one of my favorite moments with my friends there. I was like, how are we in Home Alone? Like and you know what too, like the casting or the location scouting, wow, they nailed it, because it's a stunning neighborhood too. And
oh yeah,
very cool.
One of my favorite things that many people have thought is, what did Peter McAllister do as a job?
Yes.
To afford that trip? Because I'm sorry, Uncle Frank, he was cheap.
No, there was how many people that went? They went. Some of them went first class. They went to France, and then then they got limo pickup or whatever. Then and then staying at a gorgeous hotel in Paris.
Yep.
No. He's definitely some executive at some, I don't know, advertising company. I have no idea, but something where it yields that, because the house itself, because I saw it firsthand, it's definitely, like, obviously in the millions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I love it. And I loved how the set was all green and red. And they purposely did all that to make it more Christmassy and whatnot. So it made sense. But I think what happened too for the director, he loved working with him in Uncle Buck, and then created Home Alone from Uncle Buck.
Yep. And with John Candy, his scenes were off the cuff. Nothing is in that script. His character, Gus Polinski, was all riffing, and I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So you just told me that. That makes me love it even more. But also John Candy, I mean, he's a Canadian gem.
Yep. And there's one scene that they shot it and they cut it. It's not anywhere. But someone found this script and this lost scene, like 5 seconds.
What?
And yeah, it's him.
Can you send me that? I want to see that. Not now, but when you can, like, that would be amazing.
I'll send you something. I found a video called "The Untold Truth of Home Alone," and it's like a goodbye scene with him and the mom, and it's just the sweetest thing. But
I guess because John Candy saves the day.
Yep.
Right? With Catherine O'Hara.
Yep. So he takes her home.
Yes.
And it's just amazing. And I love too. I love the second film as well.
Yeah. Oh no, me too. Agreed. Like, I loved Home Alone New York as well. I absolutely, because then you get to really. Oh, and actually, I was in New York for New Year's 2 years ago, and then I went to see the hotel too. And actually, you know what's interesting is that they have you can't during Christmas, you have to be a guest at the hotel, and they have these like barriers, like, you know, the red carpet things, like those like whatever, and they have security. They have security. So like, and I have to ask, because then otherwise it will be madness in the lobby. So I was kind of like peeking through, and the security was like, "You here because of Home Alone?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, just go look and just say that you're going to the champagne bar." And I'm like, "Will do. Thank you." Yeah, so I got in and I took pictures, and yeah, and then I wasn't long because that was really nice of him. So but yeah, people go ham for it in New York too during Christmas.
One of my favorite things, I remember this when I was 10. I went over to my friend's house, and his mom had both films. I kid you not, she told us we watched that movie Home Alone 2 50 times one summer.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Because at 10 years old, it's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, when I saw it, yes, same. I was a kid and I was like dying laughing. Like everything about the first one and the second one is obviously shades of the first one. They're
Yeah.
doing kind of similar things, but just in New York. And that's okay, because you know what? I wanted more of it. So it was fine.
Exactly.
I was happy to see it. But yeah, like there's some slapstick that they did that was just like Joe Pesci. And then who was the other guy? The other guy.
Daniel Stern.
Yes, amazing. They were the most bumbling. Oh, and then the poignant moment of the neighbor. I always cry with that too.
Yep.
When he finally like brings his kids, and Macaulay's like, "Well, what? You know, it's okay. Like, who cares? Just, you know, forgive him." You know. And
Yeah, you gotta call your son. And the very end, he gives them all a hug, and I'm like, okay, that's sweet.
Yeah, I know. And then you see them wave to each other, and and because at first you're like, oh, you know, because of what he looks like, but then you realize it's not about like he's actually saved him from the burglars, because they all thought he was a murderer or something. His
he hid the bodies in
right
in the trash cans, and the bodies turns to salt. And he salts the sidewalks, and I'm like, "That's dark, there, Buzz."
My lord, like, that is very dark, and it just goes to show you that it's not necessarily like a book, you know, the cover. Like he did look kind of scary with the beard and all, but it's like he was this, you know, he saved the day at the end. So,
well, I mean, look at two. I mean that pigeon lady.
Pigeon lady, yeah.
She was a bit scary, but
and dirty.
Then you found out what she was actually like and everything, and what her life was, and he finally got to give her that turtle dove.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene that I quote multiple times a year, when I was on a date once, and I looked at the bill and I said, "Kevin, you spent $967 on room service."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is killer.
And she went, "What?" I said, "Nothing. You don't understand it."
The reference. Well, then I would say not a date number 2, because if she doesn't know a Home Alone 2 reference, then bye.
Bye. What? Well, I mean,
I'm kidding, but yeah.
we didn't last long, anyways. But
okay, well, there you go. Too bad for her. So
now the next girl, you better know the Home Alone 2 reference,
right? Yeah. If you don't know references, I don't know who you are. Goodbye, sir or madame.
And one final thing, when you have another film coming out,
yes,
would you want to come back on?
Of course. I've had the best time with you, and the fact that you're a film geek too, in the best way, not a slight. We could literally talk about movies all day. And there's nothing more than I like is to like recall favorite moments from movies, and or John Candy and or Paul Newman. So
yep,
there you go.
And I just saw one more.
Yes.
If I can get Kat and Nathan on, would you want to come back on and be on one with them?
Yes, Yes, I would love that to be on with my fake sister. Hello. I'm
Come
also an
on.
only child, so she.
Same.
Oh, you are? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm
So
an only child.
she would, if I could have her as a real sister. Oh my gosh, that would be she's like my dream sister. So, and Nathan was amazing, and we all really like hit like there was always something we were talking about. They were amazing, and I just love how the whole movie looks. I love how Christmassy and how fairy tale it is. Um,
Mhm.
I just love that aspect about it, and then it's kind of funny, and I'm like wacky and crazy, and that was fun. And just the mom too, she was like cutthroat. It was like a
Oh,
whole thing, and I loved it. So I'd love to hear how they liked it and things like that. I would absolutely love that.
well, I would love to have them on. I need to have them both on. Kat was so great, and Nathan, I spoke to him. The schedule didn't work out, but we're gonna try because I gotta meet him. I gotta meet him.
Yeah,
Come
they're
on.
both just wonderful people, and I just feel very blessed. And yeah, it was a dream of mine to be in a Hallmark movie, and I made it a reality. So it feels really great. And yeah, I loved our movie, and I can't watch Sweet Lily's Destiny, and then the last one, The Reunion. So
Yep.
yeah,
And one more thing.
yes,
You said your first film, your first Hallmark film.
yes.
Many, many more to come, right?
Well, I hope so. Oh, yeah, there's no nudge nudge wink wink yet. I am auditioning quite a bit for some
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and yeah, so cross those fingers for me. And yeah, it would be a joy. So
And right now you can see Unwrapping Christmas, Mia's Prince, right now on Hallmark Plus. It debuted last Thursday. We have two more, and then we have the Cherry Lane movies coming out on there as well. So we got a lot more to talk about. And as always, guys, like and subscribe if you're new. I promise that Kirsten will be here the next time. And next time, I got a very special guest who we've talked about her quite a bit. Max McGuire knows her quite well. And he's going to make a small cameo in a way that I'm not going to spoil. But we're going to have Miss Becky Dalton on. So Becky Dalton, can't wait to talk to her. She's sweet. But as always, guys, keep your heart full of Hallmark.